The African telecommunications industry has accelerated in development over the past few years, transforming the continent both socially and economically. At the forefront of telecoms infrastructure is a company that has grown to becoming a leading name in Africa, IHS.
IHS was born in 2001 in Nigeria. It was founded by a group of engineers, including myself, engineer/friends, William Mo. We started it at a time when Nigeria had basically no telecom infrastructure, roughly a few 100,000 working telephone lines.
Although tower infrastructure across the continent is still fairly underdeveloped, IHS has managed to make significant inroads.
The tower market is a very young market. I mean, it has only existed even as an industry, I would say, for 15, 16 years. We have been in the tower business in Africa for 10. It's not a very long time to build up a great depth of expertise in the tower industry. However, we are in essence strongly linked to the mobile operators who have been operating their networks for longer than this, of course.
Today, IHS owns and manages over 10,500 towers across 5 countries, including Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Zambia, and Rwanda.
Africa still lags behind on voice penetration, substantially. Today, sub-Saharan Africa's penetration ratios, for example, are around 65%. This compares to 140, 150 sometimes in Scandinavia. Emirates is close to 200%. The way we use the mobile phone is changing rapidly, right? Social networking, e-commerce, education, the way we deal with our handset. You know, most people these days look at their handset more than they look at their partner or their wife or something like that. It has become so close to us that it's really redefining the way we live. Most people wanna use all these advanced applications, and for them to be able to do that, they need a proper broadband link. For that to happen, we need tens of thousands of additional towers. IHS's role is to enable that.
As with any developing nation, Africa has its own set of challenges in areas such as skills, infrastructure, and regulation. But investors have not been deterred. The appetite for local and foreign direct investment remains healthy.
The foreign direct investment is currently running above $80 billion annually and is forecast to grow by many sources to over $150 billion in the next 3 to 4 years. You can see that many people can see the benefit and the attraction of investing on this continent. You have to consider all countries differently, each present their own challenges, but on the whole, the story is very good. People who are already invested in Africa find it easier to follow their money. The newer investors who are looking at Africa for the first time as an opportunity is more of a challenge. Once you've made your first investment, you understand that risks and you can pitch your desired levels of investment appropriately and the way you do business appropriately and match it to the way that business is done by everyone else. The opportunities can be very attractive. And that is what we've discovered with IHS. We have a very loyal group of investors, and we have also had success in attracting new investors to join that panel. They make us work hard, but we're very happy to accept that challenge, and we're confident that we'll be delivering returns for them in the years to come.
IHS recently secured 2 deals to acquire the towers of South African-based MTN and the license to manage and market those of Orange France Telecoms in Cameroon and Côte d'Ivoire. Between July 2012 and July 2013, the company bought 2,000 towers from MTN for $248 million. IHS also acquired an additional 1,700 towers during the first quarter of 2014 from MTN in Rwanda and Zambia. In March 2014, IHS raised $490 million to acquire portfolios and rights, as well as to finance a significant build program for existing customers across Africa, bringing the total funds raised to over $1.5 billion in the last 18 months.
We have recently evolved our vision from being the leading provider of telecommunication services in emerging markets to leading the delivery of bold digital world to our customers. Delivering on this vision implies huge capital investment in data and across all the verticals in all our markets. Investment in these regards will act as an enabler for economic growth in all our operating markets. There's still huge potential in the data area. But as MTN, we will not do everything that is possible to be done. And therefore, we are engaging our partners in different areas to assess ways to deliver data services to different areas or different markets where we have hitherto thought that it was not viable. MTN has been using IHS and other towerco in many of our markets. Like I've said before, they enable us faster rollout and better economic rollout. And this is very, very valuable when we start dealing with the rural areas, which might not make commercial sense and are not economically viable for us. By working in partnership with IHS, we are extending our services to those communities who do not have telecommunications services, and those will promote economic development in those areas that are less accessible in Africa.
IHS had initially planted its roots in Nigeria, and today the Nigerian operation is the largest in the IHS portfolio. Understanding the local market has been key to the success of the organization.
Nigeria is a fabulous place. It's exciting, it's full of opportunity, but the decision to break ground in Nigeria was very natural. I had moved here in 1998. I had made it a home, basically. The co-founders also have moved here, and it became our home. We were lucky because, again, Nigeria should not be underestimated. Nigeria is the pulsating heart of the African continent.
Another aspect that forms a critical part of the IHS success story across territories, including Nigeria, is its commitment to building and retaining a strong skills and talent pool.
It is possible to find talent in Africa, in the countries in which we operate. And despite the challenges, we find the highly qualified engineers that we need to run our networks and keep our customers happy.
Africa is a vast and swiftly developing continent, and Nigeria is not where it ends for IHS in this booming industry, an industry crucial to the continent's success.
We are very fortunate in having a very strong and entrepreneurial leadership team. Our company has a very bold approach to the market, and we move into new markets after a careful assessment of the opportunity and the risks, but we will move. And we have become, as we roll into Côte d'Ivoire, as we went into Cameroon, and now as we look more widely, we have developed an expertise and an efficiency about the way that we develop a new market, move into a new market, in terms of bringing to bear very quickly our engineering expertise and our rollout expertise, which benefits our clients. In the first few months of moving into Côte d'Ivoire and Cameroon, we were able to move the network performance up by 2 or 3% into the high 90s, which is of enormous benefit to our customers and shows a very immediate impact. And we are confident that as we look into new opportunities, wider opportunities throughout Africa, that we are going to get more efficient and better at this process.
The telecom infrastructure in Nigeria and on the continent needs to be more efficient, that's for sure. The management of power needs to be more innovative. The cost of building and using the sites need to be improved. This is important because if we need to move penetration levels in Africa from 70%, 65% to 100% or where it needs to be, and more important, data from sub 10% to 40, 50, 60 and 70% hopefully, and even have every citizen of this continent having a broadband connection, it has to be more efficient. It has to be done smartly. It has to be done cheaply. IHS is going to be the champion of driving this efficiency forward for operators.